Hi all, this is May and welcome back to my channel for a brand new speed build. So today I am making a tropical bungalow in Sulani as part of my save file project. And as always, I do have a playlist up on my channel with all the builds I've done so far, so if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to do so after this video. When I had started working on the second version of my save file, I was in such a Sulani mood, so I am continuing with yet another build in this world today. But I hope I can have a Brindleton Bay build up soon, as well as another Windenburg one. I have been working on a 64x64 Windenburg build for maybe 2 or 3 months now, and I've finally gotten around to somehow finishing it. So it has taken me a while, I have to say. It is the biggest lot size in the game as well, so it is natural to take breaks from it and come back to it at a later point. At least that's what I have to do. But yeah, I was thinking of either making a speed build of that or perhaps just doing a finished build tour with commentary of the most important things like the storyline of The Sims and household living there and some of the building progress. I think that could work, and it would definitely save me a lot of time, like editing, doing the voiceover and all. I'm not saying I'll do that with every single one of my builds going forward. I think the 20-minute speed builds are somewhat manageable. It's just, especially with those big builds, it just seems better time-wise for me to do it like that. Like, I imagine I would spend a lot less time doing it like that, meaning I get to share the build faster and the next version of my save file faster as well. Because I do have some finished builds already, but the editing and the voiceover and everything just takes up a lot of my time and I stress about it, and often I don't feel too motivated to sit down and do that, especially lately, unfortunately. But I really like to build in The Sims, sharing them with you all and telling stories, so it's a bit of a dilemma like that. And sometimes you just have to experiment a bit with your content, you know, so I will be looking into doing a mix between speed builds and finished build tours going forward for a period of time to see how I like it and how it is received. So just wanted to let you know of that. I also did a poll up on the community tab like 2 weeks ago or something, and I appreciate everyone's feedback on this idea. I'm also still working on the households that will be living in these worlds, so that's also taking up some time to finish up. So even if a build is finished, if the family's not, then I feel like I'm a bit stuck. So that's also a reason why it's taking me some time to upload the builds and make the videos about them. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know a bit about that. And yeah, today though I am doing a speed build, obviously, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm building in Sulani. This is a house that I would say mixes elements of both traditional Sulani architecture but also modern design. But we are going to do a one-level home with this beautiful dark green siding on the outside. This one is from Businesses and Hobbies and is definitely one of my favorite walls to use for a modern design these days. I think that pack came with a lot of great modern build and buy items, but also quite a few retro pieces, I would say, both for build and buy and for create a sim, like clothing and stuff like that. So it is a nice mix of modern and retro, but also combined, which I feel like could be a bit trendy these days. This is definitely a home that was built not that long ago. Like, this is a new house and it was probably built specifically for the family that's going to be living here because they have some money. And I think a lot of the locals don't really have a good relationship with them, because I thought this family, the Porter West family, they would have something to do with trying to either modernize Sulani or trying to attract more tourists here, like by owning a retreat or something similar. I really wish you could own a getaway with the Adventure Awaits pack, so I'm still trying to figure out how to integrate my retreat idea into this whole storyline for it to make sense and like be functional, because I could make a romantic getaway, but there's really no way of connecting that to this family other than maybe having them live there at that lot, or at least that's what I've gathered so far. if I'm gonna be honest. I haven't done too much gameplay with the Adventure Awaits pack yet, so do correct me if I'm wrong. Or I could also make that romantic getaway into a small business venue and have the Porter West family own it that way. So I do have those two options, and I'm not too sure how to do it. So if any of you have any input on that, do let me know. I'm sure I could make it look like this family owns the custom venue and getaway, but it will make it more difficult for people jumping into the save file to get the connection between the family and the getaway. And the family wouldn't be making any money from that venue unless one of the household members work within business or something similar. I don't know. So yeah, let me know if you have a preference. Otherwise, I hope it will be easy to change between the two lot types as well. I also think there might be a glitch going on for getaways if you do rotational gameplay, like something about the custom getaway schedules or something reset if you change households to play with, which really sucks. So I might have to wait a bit to get started on a getaway. I know I was supposed to work on one or like several by now, but I just haven't felt too inspired yet, which really sucks. But yeah, I'll get back to the family a bit later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I wanted to keep that traditional vibe with the straw roofing as well, so we got that going on here. I also made today's build before the Adventure Awaits pack came out, so if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I've used anything from that pack. Like, I don't think I've added anything from that pack after I got access to it either. I still have 2 more Sulani homes that I'm about finished with. Like always, it just takes me forever to do the after work. And I've also been taking more breaks from social media and content creation and editing and all that, which does wonders for me. So that's why I haven't uploaded as much on my socials like I've used to. I also haven't been feeling too good mentally or physically lately. I have mentioned it a couple of times before, like needing to take breaks and all that. I also attended a job interview at the end of September, and I'm still waiting on hearing back regarding that, so I'm still crossing my fingers. I don't think it went excellent or anything, it went just fine, I think. But yeah, there's always answers I feel like I could have extended, but I feel like that's a common afterthought, right? So yeah, I feel like I don't have my hopes too high, but I'll just have to wait and see, and honestly, that's all I can do at this point. But yeah, for one of those other Sulani homes I have finished up, I have added in some kayaks and some other decorations, I think, from that pack. And I just think kayaking works really well for Sulani. I haven't actually tried it out in game yet in Sulani, but hopefully I can do that soon. Just like check it out, how does it work? I think at this point I've already got half of Sulani done, so like 7 out of 13, 14 lots, I believe. I was really into building in Sulani and working on this world this summer, or late summer really, maybe because of the hot weather and everything, and now I have felt like I've totally parkoured into working on Copperdale, and I know Copperdale isn't a part of my initial plan for the 2.0 save file, but there's just something about Copperdale and fall season that just goes hand in hand in my brain. I feel like I can be so inconsistent and indecisive sometimes with stuff like this, but that's just how I am. I can parkour from one thing to another, especially in The Sims, and my brain works in mysterious ways sometimes. But I've just been really inspired to work on that world and come up with different households and how they're pretty much all intertwined, because Copperdale also is quite small, I would say, with maybe around 13 to 14 lots as well. So there aren't too many lots or space for households, unlike the base game worlds. But I would have loved to have an extended Copperdale because I love that world. It's very fall coded, and it just, I don't know, I love Copperdale for its vibes and aesthetics. So I've already started a couple of builds there too, like some residentials. I have started a small diner, and I have pretty much finished up the high school already, which I surprised myself with, to be honest. I've only ever made one high school before in The Sims 4. It was maybe last year or the year before. I think it was for a collab, maybe. But I felt like I made a way too big high school back then. So this time I've been trying to size it down a bit and go more simplistic with it. Maybe more realistic as well. I didn't want it to be anything fancy at least, so I'm really excited about those builds, and I've taken a lot of notes of the households who will be living in Copperdale, and there will be a lot of teens. What can I say, since that world and pack is very high school centric, I felt like it was appropriate. And I am going to switch out all the households in Copperdale because I don't have a bond with any of them, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of the pre-existing families there. So I've just decided to make new ones, and like I said earlier, this world isn't the biggest. I'm also doing the same with Sulani because I will not be keeping any of the pre-existing families living there. There is a mermaid who will move in somewhere, and that's it, I believe. Like one of the mermaids who don't have a place to live. I will move her in with one of my own households. I'm going a bit off topic here because I'm not really talking that much about my build that's on screen right now, but I just really want to talk a bit more about Copperdale and like what sparked my inspiration, because there are a few things actually. First of all, here in the northern hemisphere, we are officially in fall season. It's getting colder. Leaves are changing colors and all that, and it just sets a certain mood, you know. I also recently started playing this game called Lost Records Bloom and Rage, which I got on sale during the autumn sale over on Steam, which I've been really enjoying just playing by myself. Such an aesthetically pleasing game, and it's also made me quite nostalgic at times since part of it is set in the 90s. And I don't know, some parts are quite emotional as well. And it's made by the same company who have made Life is Strange, if you know that game. So it's quite similar in play style, I would say. Even though I've never played Life is Strange myself, but I have watched a few Let's Plays of it. But yeah, I was quite surprised by the graphics of Lost Records. It's really beautiful. And I actually finished up the game earlier today. And yeah, I think the ending might have been a bit rushed in my opinion, but I did like the game regardless. But do let me know if you have played this game too, and maybe be a bit wary of like spoiling anything if there's someone who hasn't played it yet. But do let me know what you thought of it if you have played it. And other than that, I recently started watching Gilmore Girls. I've seen an episode here and there previously, but I've never watched it from start to finish. So I'm still on season 1 so far, maybe on episode 5 or 6 at this point. I think I watched a bit earlier before doing this voiceover as well. But there's just something nostalgic and cozy about that series as well. I would also say that my Copperdale could be inspired by the vibes and tone of Twilight, which I also feel like is such a fall classic. I can't say there will be any vampires or werewolves in Copperdale though, but I will definitely try out making occults later on for the save file for the more occult-centric worlds, such as Forgotten Hollow, Moonwood Mill, and so on. I feel like Moonwood Mill is also a world that's quite similar to Copperdale, I would say. And those two, they could go very well hand in hand. It just sucks a bit that Moonwood Mill is tiny in comparison to other worlds. Same with Forgotten Hollow, but both of those worlds came with game packs, right? So that's probably why. But still, I wouldn't mind having them a bit more expanded. So that's just a little update on what I'm currently working on at this time. So like I said, a bit off topic for today's build, but you know, I quite like talking about other things than just the build and family as well. Like, hopefully you get more insight into what kind of person I am and what interests I have beyond The Sims 4. And sometimes there's not too much to say about the build itself, so I feel like I just have to talk about a bit of other stuff as well, and I hope that's okay. But yeah, like I said, there will only be one level for this build, which I thought was a nice fit for this slot, which is kind of situated more on top of a hill overlooking the ocean and other houses by the beach here. I don't think it was coincidental that I chose this lot specifically for this family. It's just a perfect spot for them, I think. So we do have the two parents, Simone and Tarek Porter West. They are a family more on the wealthier side, so both of them have great careers. Like I mentioned earlier, I haven't quite yet decided what their careers will be. If it will be the owner of a small business venue or if it will be something like business or anything similar. I'll have to make up my mind first, but for now, I think I have Simone in the lawyer career and then Tarek is in the business career. He might be in the investor branch. Yeah, I think so, which I feel like could be a good fit for both of them. I feel like they might have a bit of a similar storyline as the Landgrabs in the 1.0 version of my save file, where the Landgrabs own a lot of properties and they do well within the business world. But the Porter Wests are nowhere near as famous or wealthy as the Landgrabs. So if I was going to compare today's family to another, it would probably be the Landgrabs, but still different, you know, to fit the style of Sulani. They do have two kids. We have the teen son Eunice, who's into music. He's got a guitar in his bedroom, for example, so I just imagine him jamming out sometimes. And he's wearing these headphones like all the time. So yeah, he's a bit socially awkward as well, I would imagine. Just a regular teen, I would say. But there is this kind of rivaling family in Sulani, the Toussaints. They have more of a traditional business going on with farming, taking care of animals, like that kind of thing. Meanwhile, the Porter West family are more modern in that business sense. The Toussaint family, also living in Sulani, as mentioned, they have a teen daughter, Sadie, and her and Eunice are going to be in a relationship. Like, it's very early on in their relationship, but it's definitely not easy. Maybe they've been sneaking around or something like that because their families don't like each other. It's a bit of a forbidden love kind of thing, trope. I don't know, like Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, if you will, if I can even compare it to that. But yeah, I haven't done that kind of thing before in the save file, as far as I'm aware, at least. Like two teenagers in a relationship and their families not getting along. I don't think I had any teenagers be in a relationship in the first version of my save, but I'm changing that for this version at least. And then we have Reina, who is the kid daughter, who, as you will be able to tell by her bedroom, she really likes purple a lot. That's definitely her favorite color. She's also really into plants, so she has the new plant lover trait from the Enchanted by Nature pack. I'm uncertain though if I will have any same aged friends for her in Sulani, because there aren't a lot of kids in this world, unfortunately. But maybe I can have her know someone from the other worlds, like Tomarang, for example. I actually have a family there already and they have a kid, so maybe that's an idea. If we imagine that Sulani and Tomarang are somewhat close to one another, it could work. I know it doesn't matter in The Sims, but realistically, it would definitely be something I would think about. As for the house, we have an open concept kitchen, dining and living room, 3 bedrooms, so 1 main bedroom and 1 bedroom each for the kids. There's also a very small gym studio or room as well in this house. There will be a big porch on the outside and some outdoor space with things such as yoga, since Simone is into that. There is a swing set for the kids, a pool and loungers, a grill area, outdoor dining, a fire pit, and also a small separate guest bedroom with an ensuite. So if they have guests, family, friends staying over, there's an extra private space there just for them, which I thought would be perfect for this home. There's also this annoying foundation next to the pool that I have not been able to change or get rid of. So I decided just to leave it because I'm kind of clueless on what to do to get rid of it. So apologies for that. I know it looks bad, but like I said, I haven't been able to change it. Otherwise, there are lots of different colors for the rooms. I really wanted to keep it modern with a splash of traditional and then have it be colorful, which I think is also really nice for Sulani. It feels like a colorful place, you know. And sometimes I struggle to not use the same wallpaper in every single room. Me and choosing wallpapers in this game, it will take me so long, I swear. There's just something that makes it difficult to choose the correct ones for certain styles, I think. The simple walls are probably the easiest to work around with, I think. It gets more difficult when you have to think about the different trims and the colors on those again. Sometimes I just wish we had a better color swatch system in this game. Maybe something similar to The Sims 2, where you could change the color for different parts of an item. Not as expansive as The Sims 3 color wheel and texture system. But yeah, I feel like The Sims 3 color wheel always overwhelmed me. So I think I would much rather have something like The Sims 2 one. Like, for example, for a bed, you could change the bed sheets and then the color of the bed frame, which was really nice. And something that I noticed in the Adventure Awaits pack is that it's difficult to get the colors to match, which is such an annoying thing that's been going on for a while. I just wish they could match their items. Like, please, how hard is it? So even if I've wanted to use the new items, because I like the style and all, it's just been a struggle to match them with other furniture and walls and all. I've especially been wanting to use Adventure Awaits for Copperdale as well. I think that style could work really well there. But like I said, the swatches, especially the brown swatches, are kind of lacking in my opinion. Like, it doesn't match with some of my favorites brown swatches for other items, for example. We have already seen the two kids' bedrooms coming together here. Then the last room I'm doing for this build is the main bedroom. This is where the parents will be staying, of course, and I thought it would be fun to divide this room into two parts by just using a simple wall in the middle here. So on one side there will be this kind of grand double bed from, I believe it is For Rent, and they have their own little TV in here as well. I really do like that island living rug beneath the bed as well, with this splash of orange. And I cannot say I use yellow on walls very often, but I decided to do it here in combination with, again, this beautiful dark green paneling that is the same one on the outside of the build. And on the other side of that wall, there will be sort of like an office area for the parents with a desk and computer and just a simple bookcase. Other than that though, I am just finishing up the build here and we'll soon head into the screenshots. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content in the future. If you want to be notified of when I upload a video next, make sure to click the bell icon too. This build is playtested and up on my gallery. My ID is honeymaysims, or you can find me with the hashtag honeymaysims as well. You can also grab the tray files in the description. As always, a big shout out to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members. I appreciate you so much. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today, and I can't wait to talk to you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye.